you accept, how does accept know that you're going to the next row?
You have to accept again.
Once you do another accept, it will just go to the next one?
Yes, I will show you.
Oh, no, don't show me. If you tell me, because I want to write it on my own just to make sure.
Keep accept statement in a para. Go to that
Oh, okay.
repeatedly.
Okay. So the next accept will not read it will just move to the next row, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do that.
I started.
Okay.
1 second. I gave you the programs also. I sent you an email with my programs. Keep them, but you write your own program and see if you can write it yourself.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Because if you upload it and compile and run, it will give the output.
Uh,
So I want you to write on your own, see how much you can write.
yeah. And I really have to do the CICS too.
Yeah, maybe what you do, you complete this and again go back to CACS.
Okay.
Because anyway, COBOL, you need to practice even for CACS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me log on. One second. Hold on a minute. Just hold on 1 minute, Brian. I'll be right back. Please hold.
Okay.
Brian, wait, I'll be back. I'm done. Okay, so let me show you how to write, how to define a table in COBOL. See, a table is a working storage entity, table definition. Here I have defined a table like this. WS data rec occurs 10 times, indexed by F1. It has got 4 elementary data items: data ID, name, department, and location. Hello, you are there, right, Brian? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And I am loading my table from a file. My file also has the similar layout, which has got ID, name, department, and location. And I am reading my file and loading into my table. All I do is to populate the table elements, I'll have to say move statement. I'll have to write a move statement. See, read file, in file, read in file into ws data rec ws sub, and I am initializing my ws sub to 1.
You're moving your file into a working storage table?
The initialized value of ws sub is 1. All I do is read the file record into the first occurrence of the table, and when
Okay.
we start with the value of w sub is 1, so it will move to the first value, and after that I am adding 1 to w sub. Okay. And after that I will perform a search on the table for few IDs which I have loaded. So say this is the syntax for search.
Oh, Venkat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. I get confused with the search. So, on this case, you didn't sort it, right?
No. Actually, it need not be sorted, but my data is in sorted order. But it is not mandatory if you are using search form. In case of search all, it should be in sorted order. Right? Like this.
So this when there's index on the, you say index by F1,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean when you load it into the table, it sorts it?
No, no, it will not sort. No. You will have to sort externally the input file, then load into the table if you want to sort. But search and table doesn't have any sorting ability. There is no way you can sort using any search verb. See, here what we are doing, that concept is very simple. I have few records in my file and I am loading into table. See, you need to visualize how the table elements appear. Okay, I'll try to show it in the Excel sheet. In case of a file, you have records like this. Okay, and in case of a table, you have records like this contiguously. Right? So whatever records are there in the file, this is number first record, second, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it will be like this. Now is it clear?
Yeah, yes. So, the first occurrence would be in the table is the yellow and the second occurrence is the green, and then
Yes.
can you go back to your code?
1 second.
What happens to what's the subscript and the index? What will be the value when you're moving through?
Oh, okay. See, a subscript or value or index, the value for this yellow one would be 1, for this one would be 2, for the next one would be 3. Fine.
Say it again.
So for the first occurrence, the subscript will be 1.
And the index?
Fine.
So they're always the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Right.
Okay.
So this is how you need to handle the table loading and searching the table.
So the if WS match counter,
Mm-hmm.
can you go back to the code? If match is counter is equal to 0, all of that the code from there are
Here
is not at end, right?
that is
Yes.
part of
That's
attend only.
that's part of the at end.
Yes, till here. Attend will be all this.
Uh,
And when you get the
so
when
it it will never it will never go to the at end if it finds at least one match, right?
no, I am doing this search for all the elements, so it will go to attend anyway.
Oh, it will. Oh, okay.
It will.
If there's no match and so it goes to at end right away.
Yes.
Oh, oh, you check your counter.
No, but it will search the complete table. Then only it will go to attend.
Okay.
It will search all the elements in the table. Only then it will go to attend, whether match is found or not.
So you always have to set your index up by 1. It doesn't move it to the next one after you
Yeah,
get a match.
correct.
It never changes.
Is I'm
Oh,
showing.
because it's a serial.
Yes, because it is sequential search. See, I start with the index
So you
value 1 from here. I'll keep moving. I'll go to 2, 3, 4 like that till I get to the end of the table. And in that process, if I find a match, I'll increment the match counter to 1. And for example, it goes through entire table, and if the match counter is still 0, it means match is not found, correct?
hmm
Then I am printing the message match not found.
So you're not incrementing the subscript because you're using the index, right?
Yeah, I don't need subscript now. I'm using index anyway. See in here. Fine. Yeah, actually, you need to write yourself. That way, you'll get to understand this behavior.
And sometimes
Yeah, yeah.
I see a perform varying and then they have a search in it,
Sorry,
right?
you have what?
Sometimes they have a perform, sometimes they have a perform varying and then they have a search inside the perform.
Perform, you mean to say
So
perform 10 times like that?
yeah, or perform varying the index,
Yeah,
something like that.
you can use whatever way you want
And
to use.
that the search is inside,
Yeah.
and then the search will be inside it. And then so how does that work? So for if you have a search all inside the perform varying, which one is moving the index? Is it the perform or the search
No,
all?
you have to populate the index by using set class like this. If you see, uh, I have set the value of index to 1 before I start doing my search.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
And this is my main program in which I am declaring a variable WSPGM value some program name, subprogram name, and sorry, I am passing these three values to my subprogram. Uh, First name, last name, and match flag. Fine. And I am making a call to the subprogram here. This is the syntax for calling the subprogram. And here the variable, I am using a variable name here rather than the hard coded program name. See, I am not calling subprogram like this, right? Rather, I am using a variable name. So this is a dynamic call. Okay.
Oh yeah. So the thing that you did with does that work as a comment? You can't do that, right? Can we do that?
Uh, do what?
Like what you did. Can we comment out in a program on the right side that you did, or this will fail?
No, 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 no. You cannot. That is only for JCL.
Oh, okay. So we can't do that in COBOL.
No, no.
Like sometimes like this, you want to put some
In
comments, right?
JCL,
So it doesn't let you do
one
that.
blank is up. You will terminate that line, and it will search in the next line. That's so. That is why we are able to use that as comment, but not in COBOL.
And how do you do a continue on COBOL?
Okay, you will have to something like this. If you are writing beyond 72, then you can insert a line here and go to column 7, give a hyphen, and then you can write like this.
So you can have a code all the way to the right side.
Yes.
Okay. Because sometimes you're moving a long text into a variable.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you do it? If you're moving a
Yes.
uh,
And if you see, this is how you have to prepare your subprogram. I have linkage section where I have defined all these elements which will receive the values from my main program, and procedure division using these values and process them in the subprogram. And at the end I will write exit program. Fine. Okay.
So you have two sub programs, 91 and 92.
No, 91 is main program, 92 is subprogram.
Ah.
I just named it that way.
Okay. And isn't there a global variable too?
But actually, it depends on compiler to compiler. So this is the standard way of using the subprograms. I know you got some other global declaration also. There is a way to do that. Now actually till now we have been talking about only processing the sequential files, but based on that experience we need to process the Vsam files. You have 4 varieties of Vsam files. We have 4 varieties of Vsam datasets: key sequence dataset, entry sequential dataset, relative record dataset, and linear dataset. ESDS is similar to your PS file, except that it's a Vsam variety, and you cannot create any of these Vsam files using 3.2 option. They need to be created using IDCAMS utility.
Venkat, what did you say ESDS was similar to?
Your PS files, physical sequential files.
Okay.
Key sequence dataset is fully indexed. In this sense, it has a data component and index component. You can perform sequential, random, and dynamic access with KSDS. RRDS also gives you ability to perform all the 3 access modes like sequential, random and dynamic, but it does not have any index component. Access of random access of the records is performed using the relative record number in the RRDS, and LDS is not used for programming. Rather, they are used to install some applications like DB2 is installed on LDS. From programming point of view,
I've never heard of the linear days.
yes, linear data set. Only these 3 are used for programming.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of the LDS
We never
in
use it
Vsam.
for programming. And actually, similar to MVS, Vsam also maintains 2 kinds of catalogs. One is master catalog and other is user catalog. Master catalog keeps the maintains and registers and maintains the entries of the system objects, and it has pointers to the user catalogs, and user catalog will maintain the information about the user objects, like your user data sets, whatever files you have, those entries, those object related information is maintained by user catalog. So if you want to access any data set, it will first go to master catalog, from there get a pointer to user catalog and go to user catalog and get the information and then access the object. Like this. Okay. And within the given space of a mainframe, few packs like volumes are reserved for Vsam. So that is the Vsam data space in which Vsam will perform all its activities. They like cataloging the data sets and executing your tasks within that data space.
Oh, Venkat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, we did not discuss yet the VTalk, right? You're going to discuss that too?
Oh, we talk. Actually, I have covered
Yeah.
that on the day one, but I will give you information. See,
Oh, yeah?
we know what is
Because that's how,
we know what are tracks and cylinders, right? And they comprise volumes, right? Every volume,
yes.
first track will contain something called VTalk, which is Fine. Is it clear?
Yes. Would you be showing it to me? I can, because I think I need to do a beta. Sometimes we want to browse the files, the list, the catalog.
No, because we cannot see VTalk.
Oh no, but isn't there? Wouldn't we? Sometimes we do a listing of beta.
No, no, no. See, here dataset list options is volume.
Mm-hmm.
So it will show the volumes also along with the dataset name. Otherwise, what we can do, KCTR44. Okay, let us say it will give the list of all the objects that are present on this volume
Okay.
after reading the VTalk actually.
Yeah. So how do you create the listing? I remember doing that listing where you
It
can
is
do a
a
printout of the beta.
you mean it is a list cat. List cat will give the listing of the
Oh
catalog
yeah,
entries,
list cat. Yeah, I think it's list cat. You're right.
not VTalk entries.
List cat is beta, right?
No, no, it's about catalog entries. List catalog, not VTalk.
Oh, okay.
So, in case of Vsam, um, the records are grouped into control intervals. A control interval is something which is equivalent to your block in MVS in case of PS files. A block for a PS file is equivalent to a control interval for a Vsam dataset. Okay, and we will base this we will discuss these control intervals in the context of KSDS, key sequence dataset. Okay, a control interval will can be visualized into these logical partitions. It contains in an area say key and record. This is the logical record area, free space and unused space, length of the record, and other control information stored within the control interval. Now, in case of variable length records, sometimes you keep on adding the records to control interval, and at some point of time some of the bytes or few bytes are left unused because a new record cannot fit into it. Okay, that is called unused space, and free space is something which you will allow for future expansion of the data set in terms of percentage of control interval and percentage of control area. See, you can just represent this way also. Fine. And this is called control interval size. CISZ means control interval size. Okay. Actually, most of this control information is maintained by Vsam. We do not have any control to access this information or manipulate the information. It is maintained by the Vsam itself. And one more interesting behavior with the Vsam files is, like especially KSDS, whenever the control interval is almost full, getting almost full, and if new records are coming in, it will split the control interval and into half, and the next half is sent to the next control interval. See, I will show it here. Suppose this is control interval 1. So once it is getting full, it will write to the next control interval, it will empty half, and write into this. This is called control interval split. Okay.
The control interval split is between the two control intervals?
Yes.
Is that to separate the control intervals?
Yes.
So it's like the gap.
Yes. This is control interval 1. This interval 2. These are like your blocks. It's like a box where you can put number of records. And if you see, you have a sequence set here at the control interval level, where it has an index component which will store the key and pointer, and in the data component it will have the data component of it, and the index component at the control interval level is called sequence set. Okay. Similarly, at in control area level, you have an index component which we call as index set, which also has key and pointer, and that pointer will point to a sequence set, which in turn will point to the control intervals, which has the data component of the record. See, for example, if you remember, a KSDS file has two components. One is date.data and .index, and this is called a cluster, KSDS cluster, and it has got data component and
What is
index
that?
component. It's got a cluster.
Cluster?
Yeah.
Can we do an S on it? Or view?
No,
Can we browse it?
you cannot browse through MVS. If you try to do it, say Vsam processing unavailable. So what you need to do, you have to go to another tool called File Manager, FM.
So is that the same with the data and index? You can't browse them.
No, you cannot. Yes, you have to browse only the cluster.
So where did you go again?
FM, file manager.
So FM is the same anywhere. It's FM.
It is similar to file aid.
Uh, do we have file aid here?
No, we don't have file aid. We have only file manager. Like this, you can browse the cluster. Okay.
Can we also browse the index and the data?
No, you cannot. You cannot.
Yeah.
And in case of ESDS, it is similar to your PS file. You cannot do random access, but random access is possible if it is a kicks file. For example, if you create an ESDS file, define and install the file in kicks, then you can do the random read of the file using the RBA in the read command. Executives read file name, there you give RBA and write the RBA number and access the uh, record randomly. Otherwise, in batch COBOL, ESDS does not support random access. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, you cannot delete a record from ESDS through delete command, or nor you can insert a record into ESDS in the middle of the file. Fine.
Yes.
And RRDS is a separate concept. RRDS comes along with something called RR number, relative record number. See, in case of an RRN, in case of RRDS, you will have to first say what is the RRN value. One, then you can write a record like this. Okay. Now you give and you write a record. Okay. Now you give RRN2, you write a record. And if you write RRN5, it will write RRN5, but it will reserve empty slots. Fine, like this.
Yes.
See, for example, here you define RN externally, working storage. You come here and you write the RRDS record and also add one to that RRN, increment it. So without moving the value to RRN, you cannot write the record or read the record. And RRN.
How was that variable associated with the record?
Nowhere. Only thing is here in my select class, I will say relative key is WSRRN.
Oh, okay. That's how you associate it.
Yes.
Okay.
An important variety is the KSDS, and this is the syntax for defining the KSDS cluster. I can show my JCL. Okay. Fine.
Yes.
And most of the installations volume is mandatory parameter. You need to give which volume you need to allocate the data set on. And record size, the first one is the average and second one is maximum. And if it is a fixed block or fixed record format, both will be same.
What is that again? The first one?
Average, maximum. Average, this is maximum.
How would I know how to code those things?
Okay. Now suppose you are working with a file, say student record file, student file. In the student record can be minimum 50 and it's a variable block or it's a variable file. Then you know the minimum record length will be 50 and maximum is 100 out of your experience. Then you give the average as 75, maximum as 100.
Okay. And are the developers usually have access to create this?
How to create this cluster?
No. Are we allowed to run a JCL like this to create our own
Yes, yes,
Vsam files?
yes, yes. We have.
And your JCL with the sysout and sysprint, you always code this like that. That's it's always like that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You have a sysout and a sysprint.
yeah. You need sysprint actually. Sysout is not required for ID cams. And this is the syntax for delete. command. And if you do not specify this data and index component, it will by default create with dot data and dot index. But if you want to give any other extension other than this, say like this, you can do it by specifying the data and index components. Fine.
The data item you said?
Yeah, this is the data component, this one, and this is the index component.
So you always need to put that, right?
No, if you do not code these two, it will by default create with dot data and dot index.
Okay.
But if you want something other than those suffixes, then you can code data and index components. And here for keys, 05 is the length of the key and 0 is the offset from the starting position. For example, if your key value is starting from column 1, offset is 0. Fine. Is it clear?
So the first 5 are the key, right?
Yeah. So this is my record in which first 5 bits is ID. So I will write 5 comma 0. Suppose if department is the key, it is starting from column 16, right? This is column 16, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So offset
Yes.
is fine.
Oh, so position is the
Yes,
second
offset.
one.
Offset is how much it has moved from the starting position.
Okay. And how about the 5 comma 0? That means it's the first 5, right?
Yes. And here in define cluster,
And
if you specify indexed, it is KSDS. It is ESDS.
why do you call number the RRDS?
Here.
Yeah. Oh, when you say numbered, it's RRDS. It's just a keyword.
Yes. Reserved word.
Oh, okay.
Fine. Now once you create a cluster, you can go to file manager and start putting some values manually. But all we need is to program, read, perform read or write or rewrite anything through program, not manually. So for that, we need to know some definitions in the select class, file control. So here in case of um, KSDS, organization is indexed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
record key is, you need to specify this value, record key, and that should be part of your KSDS record ID. This is my employee ID. The same name should come here. And file status is also required, and file status is a keyword. It has, you can provide two values, stat1 and stat2. They are not reserved words, you can give any name here. Stat1 is the file status for COBOL file status. Stat2 is Vsam file status. It means it gives the detailed description about the status. But for all practical purpose, you have, if you code stat1, that is enough, like this.
So how does it know which one is COBOL, which one is Vsam?
Whatever you code in the first place is COBOL. Second one is Vsam.
Ah. There's only two. There's no third one.
No, that's all. And definition should be like this: stat1 and stat2.
Oh, that's how it should always be. Stat two is 99, and then 9, and then 999. It's,
Yes.
oh yeah, I was gonna ask you that.
Which one?
Do you have a list of all error codes?
Yeah, you can get it from Google.
Oh,
COBOL
because
file
there's not
status.
a good list out there. What?
Yeah, you can get COBOL
There's
file
not a
status.
good list out there.
Sorry,
What?
what did you
There's
say?
no good list out there.
No, you have. Lot of places you will get the file status, COBOL file status code. You should say COBOL file status code.
There's no. I was looking. There's no official. It's just people putting together some codes that are not even complete.
Let it come up. I will show you. Yeah, you can search it. and the way you read, do a random read of KSDS is see, I'll tell you what is dynamic access. Suppose in a KHDS file, I have say 100 records. Okay. Um, Now I want to read from ID 5 till uh, say 75. Okay, then I come to this. You reach to the starting record randomly, and okay.
This is KSDS, right?
Yes, KHDS. Okay.
So the first four you want to skip.
Yes, that's why it is also called. Okay.
Okay. And how do you code that? The random read first.
I will. Oh, this is how you will do random.
Okay.
But in case of dynamic, that's a different code. I'll show you later. Let me show you how to write. You understand this?
Uh, so the 01 is in the FD, right? KSDS rec.
Yes.
ID is the key. Now the status code, is that the COBOL or the Vsam?
COBOL. Fine.
Yes.
And in case of dynamic, only
So
difference.
so
Mhm.
so you already know those codes, right?
Yes, yes. See, in case of dynamic, we need to do definition like this.
This is still KSTS?
Yes, but it is similar for even RRDS. Not much of change.
Because all these parameters, organization, recording mode is it's confusing to me.
Yeah, because that's the reason I didn't even mention them. Fine.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh, it's like a CSCS read next.
Yes.
You say next.
Yes.
Okay. The next is a keyword.
Yes. Keyword. Correct. See, if suppose you keep your pointer at A5 and you say read next, it doesn't mean that it will start reading from A6. It will start reading from A5 only. You should not be confused that read next will start from the next record. No. Fine?
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And
Do you have a sample program? Oh, yeah, that's the one, right?
yeah, yeah.
This is a program, you write it in file key greater equal to in ID. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes. Correct.
When you say start,
Mm-hmm.
start invalid key is connected to the start command.
Invalid key is also part of the start. Yes.
And then the not invalid is also still part of the start command.
Yes. Correct.
Is there an end start? So you know where it ends?
Yes, yes. Good question. I'm about to type that.
Okay.
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 Only thing is, in case of RRDS, you write here relative, and here in place of record key you will say relative key is.
Uh,
Fine.
and access mode is the dynamic still.
Yeah, you can RRDS will support all the three access modes: sequential, random, and dynamic.
Um, and you have sample programs too for relate RRN and
I can give you. Uh,
what is RBA? Wasn't there an RBA?
what is that? What was that?
RBA, relative byte address. RBA?
Is it the book name you are asking?
No. There's a relative record, right? And there's also a relative byte.
Can you type in here in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, RBA. Okay. RBA is the relative byte address, uh, which is the number of bytes from the starting position. Very good.
Yeah. Yes, but what kind of file is that?
Okay, it is used for ESDS files.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to say relative byte address for ESDS?
Yeah, for ESDS,
So when we process ESDS,
Uh-huh.
we don't. What do we do on the? What do we code? Like you still say dynamic?
No, 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 because in Kix programs there is no file control, right? There is no,
Hmm.
in environment division you do not have
Yeah.
any
No. I
file.
mean. Oh, so it's not. We can't code ESDS in Bash COBOL.
You can, but only sequential access.
So you say sequential?
Yes, or you do not write because sequential is default,
Ah.
and you cannot write anything for as key in file control, right? There is no key for ESDS,
What?
right? For ESDS there is no key,
Oh.
so that file control itself is not applicable for ESDS. It is something like normal PS file which you are coding, you can code like that.
Okay.
You know what? You try to write a small program loading the KHDS file from a PS file. See what I mean to
Mm.
say? You have a PS file like this. Okay, here um, I want you to load from this file, PS file, to a KHDS file using a program like this. Fine.
Mm.
1 second. Be online.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have some other, uh, we have an ability called alternate index which can be built on KSDS and ESDS files. Alternate index will provide an alternate way of accessing the data set other than your key value. See, for example, uh, you have a KSDS, say having employee ID, name, department, location. Say, imagine a scenario like this. Now, if I want to update the salary of all the employees who are in department 2, D112, okay. Now, I cannot write my code in such a, suppose if I read the file using the primary key, I'll have to read all the records, right? Sequentially from the beginning till end of the file, and say if department equal to D1112, then update, do some update, rewrite, right? Right? Correct? You understood this, Brian?
The primary key is department or employee ID?
Okay. Now, in this case, what we need to do, you define an alternate index on the department like this. I'll show you. Now see what it, I'll go in view mode anyway. I don't want to show in edit mode. See, it will have department as the key in alternate index, and it will write down all the employees which are pertaining to the department. Fine? Clear?
So the alternate key is department?
Alternate key is department, correct.
That's the D1 one?
Yes. And this 5 bytes is housekeeping.
Okay.
5 bytes of housekeeping which we do not use. Vsam uses those bytes for the processing of data. Now, when you want to update, it will go to alternate index, see what all employees are there, A2, A4, A6, right? So, it will write down those names in the buffer like this. It will pick up these values.
Yeah, I read about this in the CICS where it uses the path instead of the index in CICS.
Yes, yes. It will write down like this, then make updates sequentially. So this is a kind of random processing, right? You go to A1112 randomly, then update. Fine.
Yes.
Now we'll see what was
The one you wrote, the in. Can you go back to that? To the Excel. So the input is the one on the top, and the output is those 3 rows in the bottom.
Yeah, it will no, it's not even the output. It will first arrange the records like this and make an update. See, if you want to update the location like this, it will update. Okay. Fine.
Yes.
Let us see the steps of creating alternate index. We define the alternate index first with this command. Name of the alternate index, relate, this is the base cluster name on which you build the alternate index. Fine. And
Yes.
record size here, say suppose in this example Now D2, I know that in any department there cannot be more than 10 employees. Okay. And housekeeping occupies 5 bytes, correct? And my department is 5 bytes. 5 plus 5, 10 bytes. Then if I have 10 employees in a department, employee ID is 5 bytes. 5 into 10 is 50 plus this 5 and housekeeping 5. Total 60 byte can be record length. Understand?
60? 60?
So because I know that there are only 10 employees in each department, then employee ID is 5 bytes. So it will store maximum 5 employee IDs, like 5 into 10, which is 50 bytes, correct? And 5 byte for department, this one, and 5 bytes for housekeeping.
Uh,
Total 60 bytes. You will have to give like that here.
so,
60 comma 60.
but okay. But in your data, you only go only up to 16, right?
In my data,
Yeah. You go back to your mainframe?
okay.
Yeah. You only go up to 25, right?
Now here I am writing
Your
only 3 employees.
A116. Oh.
1, 2, 3 employee IDs.
Oh.
But
Oh. Okay.
it's still here. 10 employee IDs. Right?
Oh.
And keys, my department is from column say 16th column, so offset is 15. So keys will be 5 comma 15. I will show my JCL. Okay, like this. 5 comma 15, and upgrade option is given, which specifies that if you make any changes to the update, if you make an update to the base cluster, the alternate index will be updated automatically.
What is that?
When you code upgrade, if you make any changes to the base cluster, alternate index will be updated automatically.
Oh yeah, I remember that in CSCS. It says upgrade. It will take.
For
It
example,
will slow it down. I think something like that.
for D2, for D2, there are three employees: A2, A4, A6. Right? Right?
Yes.
Now I go to
Yes.
my base cluster. Oh, I am in view mode. Okay.
Wait. How did you do that?
To edit, option 2.
I thought you're in File Manager.
Yes, yes. Say I have added one more record in D2, D1112. Okay.
Can you show me how you? Can you show me how you got here again?
Yeah, like this. You go to File Manager and edit the file. Option 2 for edit.
Uh,
Now I added one more ID with D2.
How does it know to go to file manager?
Start FM. Right? This is the record I added with D2. You see this? Now you go to your alternate index. See, it has updated the alternate index. You see that?
Yes. Can you do it again?
Now you have 825, right? A1025.
Yes. Oh, just one.
For D2, right?
Yes.
Now I'll add one more.
Yes.
I'll add one more employee in D2. Say I will add 23.
So you can add anywhere in the file?
Wait a minute.
And were you adding in the data?
Yeah, in the
Or
cluster, yes.
the index?
No, you cannot add in data and index. You have to open only the cluster name. You cannot open .data or .index.
Oh, and then you add the data?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Um, are we done? Are we done with? We're not done with COBOL, right? You're going back to COBOL.
Yeah, still, lot of things can be discussed. Once you practice, you come out with questions.
Oh, yeah. Did we discuss how to do a sort in COBOL?
Yeah, sort and merge, right? Both you discussed.
Oh. Did you have a sample program for sort?
I don't have, but you can try yourself. Otherwise, I'll give you something.
This is something with the input procedure and output procedure, right?
Yeah. See, I have added one more record, A23 with D1112. Okay? You see that? Now, if I go to my alternate
Yes.
index, it has added 23. See this?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, next thing is to define a path. A path is the connection between base cluster and alternate index. So if you want to open alternate index, you should open the path and you should give the path name in the JCL, DD name. DD name should have the path name, not the alternate index name. And update parameter means if you make an update here in alternate index, like through program, if you remove this one, if you remove this, delete this entry in alternate index, it will be deleted in base cluster and it will update the alternate index also. Understand?
Can you say that again?
Suppose,
Can you say that again?
with the update parameter here in path, if you specify update here, okay, through
Mm-hmm.
program, not manually, through program, if you remove this entry A11, if you want to delete this record in base cluster, you open the base cluster through alternate index and delete that record in base cluster, and it will update the alternate index also. Fine.
Yes.
That is the a function of update parameter, property of update parameter. And build index will load all the alternate indexes, like whatever is populated here, all these records will get populated during the build step. Okay. I will show you the syntax, required syntax for alternate index processing in my program. Okay.
Yes.
And I think you know repro, right? Repro is used to um, repro is used to copy
Copy.
from PS to PS or KSDS to KSDS, non-Vsam to Vsam, Vsam to non-Vsam, Vsam to Vsam. All varieties of copy can be done using repro. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. No syntax. Repro in file out file. If you write in data set, Okay. For in dataset and out dataset, you should give the physical file names. And when you are using in file and out file, you have to give the DD names.
This is copying, right? 1 to 2?
Correct. Copy.
So when it's repro, you don't have to say copy. It knows repro is just copying.
Yes, repro is used to copy from one file to another file.
Okay.
And if you are copying in case of selectively records from KSDS to another file, it is like from key and to key. And if it is sequential ESDS file, it is from address and to address. And if it is RRDS, it is from number and to number. Fine? Right? And
Yes. What is skip and count? Oh.
it will see you can you can skip 99 records and from there copy 500 records. It will skip the first 99 records and copy the next 500 records. Count is 500.
The count is for the output?
No, number of records to copy to the output file.
This is for the output, right?
Yes, correct.
No, you put the count in the out file.
No. See, suppose a file has got say 100 records. You want to copy from 21st record till 50th record, right? So you are copying 30 records. So you should say skip 20, copy 30.
Okay. You say count 30?
Yes, count 30. Sorry, skip the 20, count 30. Fine.
Yeah.
And in case of KSDS, okay, fine.
Yes.
And see, this is the example of dynamic processing.
Can I see that again? Okay. Oh, you have the codes there.
Where? This one? This one?
Yeah, I saw you had some event codes, error codes. Uh, 66.
Yeah, I have given few COBOL
Yeah.
file status codes.
This is Vsam file, right? It says
No,
Vsam.
no, it is COBOL stat one.
Oh. No, here you only have this for that.
See,
You have to Google that, right?
this is how you do random access. You issue a start statement, and then like this, you say read next. Okay.
Uh, if you have the read inside a paragraph and you just keep calling the paragraph, do you still need to do the next?
Yes, in case of dynamic, read.
No, I mean in general.
No, no. Next will be required only if it is dynamic processing, nowhere else. Only if it is dynamic
But
read, you have to say, you have to code read file name next.
but if you have your read in a paragraph and you perform until its end of file on that paragraph,
Yes,
wouldn't that read always read the next one?
yes, yes. But you should not use the keyword next. Next is a keyword.
No, no,
Obviously.
no. I mean, if you don't put the next keyword,
Yeah, that you
if
should not
you
put.
perform the paragraph with a read, it will always read the next one, right?
Correct, correct. It will keep on
So
reading
you
one
don't need
after
to
another.
code next if that's
Yeah, it will keep on reading.
what?
Record one after other. If you say perform read para until something, it will start from the beginning of the file, keep on reading till end of file.
Yeah, so you don't really have to code next, right?
No, no, you should not actually. It's not that you will not, but you should not. If you code, it will give compilation error.
What do what?
If you code next, then it will give compilation error.
What's a comparator?
See, read file name next should come only if it is a dynamic read. You should have a start statement, then only you should say read file name next. And in the file control, you should say access mode is dynamic, organization is indexed or relative. Only then you can use this read file name next.
Oh,
Yes, only for dynamic
so
processing.
so you can only uh,
Yes,
so what happens if you don't
it will fail during compilation.
have a next?
It will not compile. It will not get compiled.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay. Okay.
Actually, since you already have some experience, write one random, uh, you know, read and write program. After this, after this go to meeting, I will send you Vsam hands-on exercise also. You try to work on them.
Okay.
Actually, if you practice COBOL and Vsam, then kicks will be easy for you. Kicks programming. Fine.
Yeah. Hello?
One second, one second. I'm here.
Oh, okay, okay.
Fine.
Yes.
So I will send you the hands-on. You try to practice them, and tomorrow let me see how far you could have you could write. Fine. So we'll again meet tomorrow.
Oh, I thought maybe we can do more today.
Sorry.
No? I thought we're doing more today.
You want more? So what all do you want to cover now?
Yeah. Are you done with Vsam?
Yeah, actually, I should not say I'm done, but I want you to practice and so that uh, you can come with
Uh,
questions.
yes. So in the sort, we did not do an input-output procedure on sort, right?
Yeah, actually, that is not very common. You can practice them.
Uh,
Actually, you know what? That input output procedure code you can get from Google also. I don't remember what
uh,
URL, but what website, but you have some sample code also in Google input output procedure.
so what other topics will you be doing for the Vsam?
Actually, I
We're
want
done, right?
hands-on to be done on KSDS random and dynamic processing and alternate index.
Uh,
Then, if you get errors, we can sit and fix your errors.
okay.
Actually, this,
So what's our next one? Is it DB2?
yeah, but still, actually, it is more hands-on that is required rather than only theory. See, I can give you my code also. Anyway, I'll give you, but you should be able to write on your own.
Okay.
After end of each module, I'll send
Okay.
my programs to you. You can go through them,
Okay.
but
Uh-huh.
you should be able to write them on your own.
Oh. Mhm.
Because it's a huge topic, man. Case, Vsam and COBOL are heavy subjects.
Yeah.
You feel you understood when you see the see my program, but when you start writing, then you will, get to have a lot of doubts,
Yeah.
questions, and you get
Yeah,
stuck.
you know what's? It's taking me a long time to code a program. It's very hard. It's very hard to
Very,
code a program.
very,
You
very.
know, you're typing everything automatic, and I have to open books to just code my
Okay.
programs.
Yeah, that's all because of practice and experience. Because concept and hands-on should go hands-on, together, hand on hand. Like both are equally important. You should know the concept and also you should be good in coding, like syntax and logic, both. When it comes to coding, syntax and logic building both are equally important.
I'm sorry, say it again.
When it comes to coding, both syntax and logic building both are important, equally important. You should be good in syntax and also you should be good in uh, logic building.
Yeah.
See, because I can open my program and explain you the flow, but actually that really doesn't help you unless you try to write on your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
That way you will learn actually.
Yeah.
Otherwise, still your confidence level will be at the same, point.
Mm. Yeah.
But still, I know you can refer to my programs anytime you want.
Okay.
Till you get comfortable with coding.
Hmm. Okay.
As much as possible, as much information I can give, I will give you in Notepad and my documents. So you keep, working, write programs every day. At least make sure you spend 1 hour every day on coding, so that you slowly get used to it.
Yeah.
Something or else you should be writing every day for sake of practice.
Mm.
No
Yeah.
problem. See, never mind. Is you go through this. I asked Vasu to upload yesterday's video also. I think he has uploaded all the videos. Even yesterday video also
Yeah.
has been uploaded.
Okay.
Now he will upload this current video also. Okay.
Okay.
And tomorrow or day after, I will give you my Vsam programs. Till that time, you try to write on your own.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then we'll meet tomorrow. Then
Yeah.
I'll ping you in advance what time I am coming to. We are going to have class.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.